purpose of this video is to show you how to put the Singulair 785 pneumatic seed drill into work. It's an easy machine to operate, and if you follow the basic steps laid out in this video and described in the operator manual, you can be assured that your sowing will be problem-free and of the highest quality. For the demonstration you are about to see, we will be using coated carrot seed and sowing in 3 lines from each unit. The instructions given though apply to any seed type or planting system. The first step in setting up the Singulair is to remove the seed hopper side of each metering unit. This is so that you can check that the plastic air blocks in the metering unit are clean and that the vacuum and pressure air ports are not blocked. A soft brush and/or airline are very useful when cleaning the units. Also check that the correct singulator arm is fitted and that it moves freely on its spring. If the felt seal that lines the bottom of the seed hopper protrudes more than just a fraction, it should be trimmed with a sharp knife or scalpel. Make sure that the correct agitator is fitted and that it moves freely. Before fitting the seed discs, check that they are correct for the seed type and seed rate you are sowing. This is done by referring to the seed setting guide in the manual. In this example, 0.6 is the correct hole size for natural carrot seed. The seed setting guide will tell you which disc hole size you should be using, the recommended vacuum and pressure settings, and the recommended rotation speed for the disc. In this case, vacuum should be 40 to 50 millibars and disc speed 25 RPM. To decide which gear to use, and also to check that the seed disc has the correct number of holes, refer to the seeds per meter guide. Lastly, you turn to the seed spacing chart of the manual, making sure that you're on the correct page. On the page for a 96 hole disc and 11 tooth shaft sprocket, we see that gear B17 will give a nominal spacing between in each line of 40.2 millimeters. We also see that for the seed disc to turn at the recommended 25 RPM, the tractor speed will have to be 5.79 kph. Going slower than this will not, in fact, make a significant difference to seed spacing, but it is not recommended to go any faster. There are 2 shaft sprockets on the Singulair, an 11 tooth and a 16 tooth. To move the drive chain from one to another, you simply release the spring tension by pulling on the chain and then relocating the R-clip in the tension arm. After changing sprockets, make sure that the shaft sprocket is in line with the sprocket on the metering unit's knee joint arm. Having checked that you are using the correct shaft sprocket, now go to the gearbox to select the right gear. The 6 permanent sprockets, A to F, are found in the bottom of the gearbox housing, A being the largest. They drive a choice of 5 interchangeable sprockets fitted on the top lay shaft of the gearbox, 2 double sprockets, 24 17 tooth, 30 13 tooth, and a single 11 tooth sprocket. To select a gear, in this example B17, slacken the 2 handles on the lay shaft and then pull this down until the chain is slack enough to be removed by hand. Reposition the sliding top sprocket, put the chain back on, pull up the chain until it is tight and then tighten up the gearbox handles, making sure that the chain is in line with the top and bottom sprockets. To replace a sliding top sprocket, pull down the lay shaft until it is in line with the holes in the gearbox housing. Tap it out and then slide off and replace the top sprocket. Make sure that the PTO is fitted correctly between the tractor and the drill, with the slip clutch fitted to the fan. Then turn on the tractor engine and engage the PTO. At this stage, the engine only needs to be idling. Vacuum and pressure do not yet need to be set at operating levels. Seed discs should be slightly curved or concave. Fit the seed discs with the concave facing towards the plastic air gallery block. Any seed disc that appears completely flat should not be used. It is a good idea to number the discs to ensure that they are always used in the same metering unit. Seed discs should not be reversed. The same side must always be fitted against the air gallery block. Check that all seed discs are seated tightly over the air gallery block. Any escaping air will be signalled by an audible grunt from the seed discs, or sometimes a high-pitched whine. If a seed disc refuses to seal correctly, check that it is fitted with its concave side facing the air gallery block. The hopper sides of the metering unit can now be refitted. As with the seed discs, it is a good idea to number both halves of the metering unit to ensure that they never become separated. Now check that all metering units turn freely, and again listen out for any loss of vacuum from the seed discs. Initially, all singulators should be set at 16, reading along the top line of the marker point on the calibration wheel. This effectively disengages the singulator, which is not required at this stage of setting up. You may now fill the hoppers with seed, using a measuring device to ensure that equal amounts of seed go into each hopper. Turn the land wheel a few times to prime the seed discs with seed. Check that the seed discs are picking up seed on every hole. If some of the holes in the disc fail to pick up seed, then increase the vacuum and corresponding pressure, but do not exceed the recommended maximum settings. Vacuum is controlled by the tractor engine speed. Pressure is adjusted on the pressure outlet valve. Closing the valve increases pressure. At a typical setting, with pressure set up at 20% of vacuum, the valve is usually 1/4 closed. 40 to 60 millibars of vacuum and 8 to 12 millibars of pressure is a typical setting for many small vegetable seeds, including natural carrot and onion. With vacuum and pressure set correctly, every hole should be picking up seed. With very small seeds, it is likely that there will be clusters of seeds on each hole. The first step in singulating seed is to wipe all the seeds off the disc. This is done by setting the calibration wheel to a low setting, such as 2 or 3. The effect of this is to bring the singulator directly in line with the holes on the seed disc, so that it removes all the seed from the face of the disc. Turning the calibration wheel the other way towards a higher setting gradually allows seed back onto the disc. The ultimate objective is to adjust the singulator so that a single seed remains on each hole. With poorly graded or irregularly shaped seed, it is likely that 1 or 2 doubles, that is 2 seeds on a hole, or misses, an empty hole, will occur. These will only constitute a very small proportion of the total number of seeds planted, and is best ignored. Once one singulator has been set, the other units can be adjusted to exactly the same setting, checking that each singulator is able to move freely on its spring. They should be checked again while drilling, and it may be eventually small variations in settings are made to achieve uniform sewing rates from all units. planting depth can now be set by moving the coulter up and down in its notch stem. There are 2 retaining notches for the coulter clip. Adjustment is in 5mm steps using the bottom groove and 2.5mm steps using the top groove. Counting the number of grooves protruding from the depth bracket enables you to ensure that all units are set to plant at the same depth. Before putting the singulaire into work, make sure that it is square behind the tractor and that the check chains are tight. Select a forward gear that gives the speed recommended in the seed spacing chart for the particular gear and disc speed you have chosen. Here, with a 96-hole disc and an 11-tooth shaft sprocket in gear B17, the tractor forward speed should be no faster than 5.79 kph, which gives a 25 rpm disc speed, ideal for natural and coated carrot seed. Being careful to lower the singulaire into the ground with the tractor moving forward, drill a few metres and then stop. Check that the singulaire's headstock is vertical to the ground, and if necessary, adjust the top link on the tractor. The toolbar height, measured from the centre of the toolbar to behind a front wheel of a row unit, should be 51 centimetres. Toolbar height is adjusted by raising and lowering the land wheels. By removing and relocating a nut and bolt on the land wheel strut, land wheel height can be adjusted in 25mm steps. When drilling on raised beds, the land wheel can be lowered to a maximum of 30 centimetres below the working height of the row units. Before drilling starts again, check that the coulters are not blocked. And then, lowering the singulaire on the move, set off once more at the recommended forward speed. Carefully uncover some seed to check the planting depth. Seed should always be planted into moisture, and ideally covered with a layer of loose, friable earth for early emergence. Once the planting depth has been set, drilling can continue. When conditions are damp or there is trash in the field, it is good practice to regularly check the soil coverers and wheel scrapers. Other things to monitor are vacuum and pressure readings and seed calibration on the seed discs. At least twice a day, the unit should be emptied and cleaned thoroughly. Pay particular attention to the air gallery block and the felt seals around the bottom of the seed hopper. At the end of the day, empty the units of all seed and remove, clean and store the seed discs in a dry place. Ideally, they should be kept in the special plastic packaging in which they are delivered, which will protect them from moisture and corrosion. Attention to small details such as the proper care of seed discs and regular cleaning of the metering units goes a long way to ensuring trouble-free operation of the singulaire. When operated and maintained correctly, the singulaire will keep working season after season to produce the highest quality crops.